Hey, good morning. This is Roundtable Talk. I'm Bubba Smith, and this is...
I'm Dakotah, Courtney, and today we have the pleasure of talking to Pastor Vic with Family Life Fellowship.
Man, it's an honor to be here and just share the heart of what Family Life Fellowship Dream Center is all about, and thank you for the opportunity. I truly appreciate it.
Well, hey, we're glad to have you here this morning. Tell us a little personal stuff about yourself.
I graduated Moberly High School in January '81. Went straight into the Air Force in February '81 and spent 10 years in the Air Force. Got married, been married 42 years now. And then what happened was, through that process, got recruited out of the Air Force to recruit doctors for hospitals in Waterloo, Iowa. And then through that process, gave my heart to Christ and went to ministry school through Oral Roberts University. And then God brought us back to Moberly, back to North Central Missouri, where I was raised. And then now I realized to make a difference in North Central Missouri, and it's an honor and privilege to be here. So,
how long have you been at Family Life?
1 August will be 30 years that I've been the lead pastor at Family Life Fellowship, right? So,
it's quite a long time in 30 years. So you guys have done a lot, especially the recent years. What's something that you guys are doing now that you're most proud of through the church? One
of the things that God laid on our heart and it was frustrating for a long time, He laid on our heart that you're going to build a warehouse to the world. And, we had the warehouse, we were doing all the stuff, handing out food, but we wasn't sending quantities out to the world. And we were sending boxes here and there and suitcases and things. But now God has opened up doors, especially in Eastern Europe, South America, and then also we're looking into the Middle East, Turkey, Abu Dhabi, different places like that, of really shipping containers of just products, things, because people don't realize, that oppression, those needs out there. And so we're shipping everything from socks to food to carpentry items to medicines, literally all over the world at no cost. And so we're able to send advance teams in, get the items there, or like Kazakhstan, we shipped a container to. We've never been there, but we shipped 150 bicycles to 2 orphanages. We shipped clothes and all brand new clothes, different things like that for those orphanages, and food. And it just took care of their needs, toys for Christmas. And so sometimes we get to go and sometimes we don't get to go, but so that's probably the most exciting thing. The church is able to cover the cost of those containers of $7,000 to $10,000. We fill them up with the stuff and ship them in. Our next container is arriving in Moldova on the 4th of May. Just got that information yesterday that we had shipped out about a month and a half ago. So it's fun learning navigating customs of all the different countries out there.
Now, we got to talk a little bit before we started filming. How did the dream of the Dream Center come about?
Well, it really happened when I was in ministry school. I was very successful in recruiting physicians for hospitals. That's what brought my Air Force career. Then a company recruited me out, very successful. But then when God called me to go into ministry, we liquidated everything, paid everything off, went debt-free, paid our tuition, paid our rent for a year and everything. So really just liquidated all our funds. And they had our apartment hooked up to the wrong electric meter. And so 6 months into it, the electric company in Tulsa, Oklahoma called and said, hey, we need all this money right now. And I'd called them, said, hey, a $14 a month electric bill is not real. And they came back and said, hey, we need it now. And so we used our last little bit of savings to pay off that electric bill. And so I had to go stand in a food bank line, and 71st and Mingo, called the Raven's Nest. And I still remember standing there. I was ashamed, humiliated, embarrassed, everything you could imagine of a person making very well, taking care of the family, to go stand in a food bank line. And a lady looked at me and she said, pick up your head. And she said, I'm going to tell you the same thing somebody told me a couple years ago. When you get to a place in your life that you can do something about it. And so, it didn't really help the sting of that moment. But later on, when we had an opportunity to start distributing food and then morph into all the other stuff that we're doing, those words ring true. I go back to those words. And it very simply was, at that point, there was a need, and that Raven's Nest, the church, Higher Dimensions Family Church, offered that need. And so really what we look for is the need is the call. Whatever that need is, if we can help meet that need, then we want to meet that need as a church. We don't want to charge. We want to do it for free when we're blessed to be a blessing. And all I know is, as we give stuff away, whether it be disaster relief, whether it be foster care, whether it be the veterans that are coming out of the Department of Corrections, whatever that is, God just keeps bringing it back. And so millions of dollars literally go through the Dream Center locally, North Central Missouri, United States, and now literally around the world, so touching people.
That's pretty cool. What's the diagram? How big is that building?
The current Dream Center is 60 foot shy of 100 yards. I'm not sure. I don't remember how wide it is. I know we had to put pillars in. That's all I remember. And it's already full. We're at a point where we need to build another warehouse. And I have to say, like MacRack, a local company here, they've donated all the rack shelving, which has saved us tens of thousands of dollars, which is, so we can triple stack our pallets. But literally, it's coming in at such rates that we don't have enough room to store it. I mean, it's crazy how full that is, and we're flipping it as quickly as we can get it.
How long ago did the Dream Center start in Moberly?
The Dream Center as we know it now, name-wise, started probably about 4 years ago. Before that, it was known as the Destiny Resource Center, or Hannah's Closet, or Sheriff Brook Food Pantry. And so we started that outreach of going in 1996. And literally what happened, a couple things that happened. Food, in 1996, I was offered 1 million score football cards, former Soviet Union Army boots, and bikini wax, which that's a different aspect. We sent the bikini wax to Brazil. So we use everything that we get. But that was, somebody came and said, hey, we got this, do you want it? I said, yeah, I'll take it. Then after that, it has just built incredible relationships, from Under Armour to Gatorade, to now Bomba Socks, to whatever, that companies, and then as people shift companies, they'll take that connection. And so Men's Warehouse, gives us a lot of stuff. And some connections will dry up. We don't worry about it because a new connection will open up. And so we literally go all over the country. We have a 26-foot box truck, and we pick stuff up, we take stuff, we drop it, and it's just amazing what happens and how much is out there if you're willing to go get it and do the work.
So as a community, what times and days is that available for people to come in? We're
open on Wednesdays from 10 to 12, 1:30 to 4, and 5 to 7, where they can come get clothes, personal care items, maintenance items, whatever we have, we put out there on the shelf. They can do that once a week. And then on the food side, that's once a month. And that's probably the hardest thing. You're asking about needs. We've seen our neighbors, what we call our neighbors, our customers, our clients, and they get free food. That has increased by about 35 to 40%. But our food intake, because there's a food shortage in America right now, has probably decreased about that same amount. So where we were able to used to give about 70 items monthly to a family, we're probably down to about 30 to 40 items. But God has blessed us, but there's still not that quantity. And so a lot of things that we look for is what can we get that are non-food stamp items, paper products, laundry soap, because those are high dollar items that people need. And so we're looking at that, but also that's why we go all over. Like we just got back from Oklahoma City last week, and we picked up granola bars, juice, different things like that. So we'll go and do whatever. And everything that we distribute is free, so we don't charge for anything.
Right.
And then through the church's tithes and offerings, then we use it to go get it, or get it shipped into us, or whatever that is. We build those relationships, and so that way we can, and then it just keeps rolling.
So as a community, to plug in, we kind of talked earlier, you said that the biggest thing is sharing.
Yeah, share that people are welcome to come out, just like I was. I was ashamed, and a lot of people think, well, somebody else can use it better. Well, we all go through difficult times, or we know going through difficult times, and sometimes it's just humbling ourselves. It's just like dog food. that's expensive. And right now we have a great connection where we're getting a lot of dog food, where we're breaking that down and helping, because pets are like kids, and people see that, and there's a great need. I was just talking to some people the other day. They have a mobile pet pantry, which I had never heard of before, and so it's got my brain churning. But dog toys, cat food, dog food, those things are there because assistance isn't going to pay for that. So it's really letting people know, or if they're building something, or if somebody had a fire. You have a woman coming out of an abusive situation, or a man moving into a new home, foster care, kid aging out of the foster system. All those things add up, of microwaves, coffee makers, towels, sheets, pillows, blankets, and if we have it, then we want to be able to help them establish those things. Like, we work really close with the Department of Corrections in Moberly, and so every veteran that's being released, or anybody that the administration recommends, then those guys that are being released, we give them brand new clothes, we give them personal care items, and the most requested item was a wallet. You wouldn't even think about it. We'd take it but they have all this paperwork that they've got to carry. Or, they said, to go to your family and not have to ask them to buy you a toothbrush. There's a sense of a positive pride, or helps them get their self-esteem back of what that's all about.
Now, is this all on your all's Facebook page? The community can check out and research.
They can check out, Family Life Outreach Corporation or Family Life Fellowship Church.
They can always call the church too.
You can call the church, and they will get them taken care of.
Is there a website that you guys use?
FLFministries.com. And so it's just, so word of mouth is just letting people know. Or, sometimes what the best thing to do is, people a lot of times won't come by themselves. So what people need to do is bring them, because it gives them a sense of security. It gives them that, hey, somebody's coming along with me. So many times we say, go do. And, we need personal touches, the average, to eliminate a negative, it used to be 7 positives to eliminate 1 negative. Now it's 12 positives to eliminate a negative. And so if you can start getting that positive and let them realize they don't have to be blinded by their yesterday, let them know that they have hope, that you're not just receiving, but you get the opportunity that when you get, just like what somebody told me, because I can sit there and watch people come through line, and every time I see them, I see myself. And I can say, when you get to a place. And so a lot of the people that serve at our Dream Center have come to the church. Now they're serving, but they were once neighbors that came through, and they stood there. And now they may still have a need, but now they're pouring back in to others. And then that creates, a self-worth and a value in them that's priceless.
You were talking earlier about the prison ministry that y'all have been doing, and they've been kind of helping as well.
Right, yeah. We partner with the prisoners, and a couple of the organizations out there, they've donated plants, they've donated blankets, they've donated scarves, which we can take into the nursing homes, or we can take into the orphanages or the kids. They also donate quite a bit of money, which is amazing for us to be able to have food purchasing power where we can go and get food and things like that. So it's not just giving, but they're giving back, as a whole. And so we do a lot with Randolph County Jail, we do a lot with Macon County Jail, and it's just really opened up doors for those guys, because it's amazing how much support those, usually, people in addiction have burned a lot of bridges. And so it's just helping establish them and getting them into support groups, or we provide free counseling. We've got a guy in our church that he's got a master's degree in counseling, working on his PhD, and he provides free counseling from marriage to trauma to grief to whatever.
Is there a number to get a hold of him?
Just call the church office. Yep, and we do it for free. Like I said, everything we do for free. We don't charge. Our church is very giving. They're very faithful, and so that's why we're blessed to be a blessing, and they can just do that.
Speaking of a blessing, just a couple of weeks ago was a big event y'all have pretty much every year. I know I've taken my kids there in the past. You all had your all's Easter egg hunt.
Right.
How many kiddos did you have there? Do you have a count?
It's hard to count. We say 3,000 to 4,000. I don't know. It's a lot. They're parked everywhere.
Okay, question. How many eggs did you all stuff?
I think there's 15,000 eggs this year, 50 to 100,000 prizes. Like, for example, recently Party City called us up, and they called me up, and a guy I'd known that had been with another company, they said, hey, we've got 12,000 pounds of candy, non-expired, non-holiday. Do you want it? And I said, yeah. I said, give me next week. He said, it'll be there tomorrow at 11. And so, yeah, 12,000 pounds of candy that we've been shipping everywhere. I mean, it's 12,000 pounds of candy is a lot of candy. 6 tons.
That's a whole lot of candy.
It is. And so, yeah, so the Easter egg hunt, we do that because my daughter, when we were in ministry school at 3 years old, we went to an Easter egg hunt in 61st and Mingo. I mean, I still remember the monumental moments. And she gave her heart to Christ. And so at 3 years old, that was an Easter egg hunt, you know, and so that's why we do Easter egg hunts. And the full circle to watch her and be able to now run that, it's incredible.
So that brings me up to one question. You know, as a minister, is there a moment that maybe get teary-eyed on you a little bit? Is there a moment that just someone you know personally or whatever had a pivotal moment that you'll never forget and that you might want to share?
There's a lot of what I call landmark moments, a lot of pivotal moments. Yeah, it's hard to pick one out as a whole because every day, I mean, I get to see it at our church. I get to see it at the Dream Center, every small groups, you know. I mean, yesterday, you know, the other day, there was a lady, the hospital called and said, hey, this lady doesn't have a church, she doesn't have a pastor, she's getting ready to go on hospice, can you come visit? So a couple hours later, I went and visited her, led her and her husband to Christ, and then yesterday, got to water baptize them in their home, you know, because they can't get out, they're limited because of what it is, and so to be able to experience that every day, I mean, it's creating new moments every day, and not just living on past moments. I can go to a lot of past moments.
Yeah.
You know, when you have somebody that said, hey, thank you for being there. You know, go back to COVID. We were doing free funerals because the funeral homes were shut down. And so we checked with our insurance company, what could we do? I think we did 27, 28 free funerals, and we still do free funerals because, you know, if they can't afford it, you know, I grew up, my dad owned 3 funeral homes, and so I know what it costs, but people need closure. And so, you know, you walk through the most difficult time, or free marriages, whatever that is, you know, those moments, I could go on and on about the people of impact, you know, to see somebody who was habitually addicted, and now for 3 years he's been clean, and now he's becoming a peer counselor, and to be able to take him into the jail with me 3 weeks ago, you know, he understood those guys way better than I understood those guys. I haven't been in jail. Been in jail a lot as a minister, but not in jail. But he was there, and God has restored his marriage. God has restored his family. His mom and dad comes to church with him now, and all those things. And I think of Jacob, and I think, man, this is powerful. You know, now he's going back into the jail. The guy that runs our jail ministry, I think he was arrested 14 times. And he's got it where we're broadcasting our services live into the jail, and he's working it way more than I ever am. You know, I mean, cares and loves. Now we're getting ready to do a big celebration of those that have accomplished. You know, I think of Josh Albright. You know, 3 years ago I did his wedding in jail, and now he's got Albright Concrete, which is successful. He's doing. You know, and I was able to take 2 guys out of Macon jail last night who came to the Dream Center, and he say, hey, Josh, who's serving in the Dream Center after working all day in concrete, which is crazy, and he's sharing her story and encouraging them. It's just being a bridge to all those people. So yeah, that's awesome. I can't pick one. They all touch me every day.
So just real quick, what are the ministry times for people who come in? You know, you're doing a lot for the community, but if the community guys wanted to come and check out your church, what are the services? And
services are Sundays at 9 and 11. Same service, just 9 and 11. If you like to sleep in, come in at 11. Same service. As far as ministry, we're pretty much open Monday through Thursday, closed Saturday and Friday and Saturday, and then students come in on Sunday night, and that's the
quick shout out. Tell me a little bit about your youth pastor and your youth program.
Yeah, Pastor Calvin was a guy. Our former student pastor spoke at a camp, and Pastor Calvin was a guy that was working at a factory in St. Louis. We saw him minister, just felt, and he came in and has been doing tremendous, and came from a single parent home. And
what nights do they meet?
They meet on Sunday nights.
Sunday nights at the church still?
Yep, 6 o'clock.
Sunday night, 6 o'clock. Awesome. And that Pastor Brad, he's not with you today, but he normally is right next to you.
Yeah, he got saved at the church. He was looking at prison time. He was on his 4th DWI, and came in and gave Jesus a try, and started as a janitor at the church, and now he's second in charge. Yeah, awesome. He runs it. Couldn't do it without him. I mean, incredible. I've tried to help him and he get another church and pastor, and he said, nope, this is where I want to be.
So you have a couple of kiddos. Tell us a little about your kiddos. It's been a long time. I say kiddos to me because last time I seen them, they were youngins, and now they're up there in years and start their own ministry and have their own jobs. And
yeah, so my son's 36, Josh, involved in church, works on the railroad. He's married, has two daughters, 9 and 19. And then my daughter, Paige, works for me in the church. Paige started, God laid on her heart about 3 years ago to give 1 million one-year Bibles away. And I think she's at about 14,000 Bibles that she's shipped all over the world. It's amazing how God is just doing amazing things in shipping those Bibles. She is actually out shipping Amazon and all major bookstores. She is the number one-year Bible. She didn't sell them; she gives them. So, and so it's incredible what God is doing, and watch her bounce back from stage 4 cancer, and how God is doing amazing things in her life to being totally there, and then still doing what she does for the church.
Right. That's awesome. So it sounds like there's a lot of great things going on over there at the church, and if we wanted to do some outreach, how could they plug in?
We have a lot of groups that sometimes want to come serve at the Dream Center. That's probably the greatest thing we could do if they want to come in. Leaf Corporation comes in. Cosmos Corporation out of St. Louis comes in. We just had some students from Central Methodist University. That's probably the greatest thing, is just manpower. If they come along, serve alongside our team for a season to help bag groceries, or just love on people, hang up clothes, whatever that is, that capacity.
Well, it's been an honor today. Me and Dakotah, we get to have a conversation with you.
I was just going to ask, what's some ways people in the community can give back? Because I know there's people out there that want to give and want to help, but don't really necessarily know exactly how to come donate or how to give back. Or
right. Big thing, if they want to do community service, would love to have them come and check that. Then the best thing to do is come look. Because everybody's needs are different, so it's hard to say what somebody can do. But don't ever think it doesn't matter, for whether it's even Christos, donating canned goods to Christos. We tend to like to deal in a bigger bulk, but that's just because of our numbers of about 2,500 people a month coming through for free food. But, so there's a lot of different avenues. They just sort of have to figure, or toiletry, paper products, they just sort of have to pick their niche and go with it, because there's a need everywhere. And so either what we usually do, a lot of times people will distribute to us, and then we'll distribute out. Like there's the Baptist churches are getting ready to go on a missions trip, so we're going to provide a lot of personal care items to them. We worked with Sweet Springs about a year and a half ago, and they were going out to Indian reservations. So we were able to give them a ton of stuff to take to the Indian reservations. So part of that is there. And then sometimes food items, it's better to donate cash than food items, because then we can go bulk purchase cheaper and get more stuff, because like peanut butter and or whatever, those things that stretch, granola bars, because right now with a lot of the homeless population that we have that we don't see, they don't have the ability to cook, and so you have to find pop tops. They don't have the old P38 can openers and different things like that. So that would be the biggest thing, is just call, and that needs change. Personal care items is a big one, because food stamps covers a lot, but it doesn't cover that. Diapers, those things.
How often do you get fresh produce? That was one of the things that was in the back of my head that I was thinking.
We are blessed because of the Walmart Distro Center with a lot of fresh produce. So we get a lot. And so we are blessed through Walmart Distro Center. As a whole, pretty good. It's just you have to flip pretty quick, and if we can't flip it, then we'll contact other pantries or other organizations like nursing homes, whatever, because that's a high budget item for them. And so if we can distribute and partner, even the fire department or whatever, to go that way. But yeah, we're pretty blessed with a lot of produce. Like last Friday night at 8:30, we had 3 pallets of tomatoes come in, so we were able to distribute. So it comes in at all hours, and everybody on our staff knows how to drive a forklift.
Well, I just want to thank you for coming in today and spending time with us.
Anytime. Take care, man. Thank you very much.